This is exactly what I did to put on 50 pounds with Crohn's and colitis. And I've seen this work with other gut issues as well, such as like IBS and leaky gut and SIBO. I know how frustrating it is to eat a ton of protein, eat a bunch of bland foods, and just shovel, do multiple meals a day to try to put muscle on so that you can look good. So when you go to the bar, a girl might be able to see you. Girls couldn't see me, I was so skinny. They see right past me. I like literally had no mass on my body. I had no muscles. None. And when I did get muscles, I'd have a flare and all that muscle would be gone. But I have developed a trick to stop those flares. Now this video is going to be about food, the food you need to eat to pack on the pounds, but to stop flares from happening ever again, I go over that inside my program. Now, what foods do we need to eat to get lots of calories into us? A lot of you might be thinking like, protein. Hey, the bodybuilders, they're eating a lot of protein, so I need to eat more protein in order to pack on pounds. Yes, protein is important, but how do they fatten up livestock? How do they fatten up the cows and the pigs? How do they do that? They feed them grain. They feed them starch. Protein kind of like holds the muscle together, but like what fills the muscle up is the glycogen, and glycogen is it's starch that our body uses, and it gets it from starches, and starches are found in grains, in sugar. So, like for example, let's take bread. Somebody eats bread, it starts to get digested, and halfway down it gets ejected because we hit a PTSD trigger that puts our gut into overdrive, or whatever is going on down there. Now, what is a more efficient way to get that sugar into us, to make sure that it gets absorbed and digested before it gets shot out the other end? Sugary drinks. Why do people gain so much weight when they start to drink alcohol and when they start to drink beer? Because beer is like liquid, easy to digest starch. It gets instantly absorbed. Oh no, it doesn't get instantly absorbed. You drink a beer, you start to feel the effects of alcohol relatively fast. Within minutes, you start to feel the buzz. Not only is the alcohol going into your bloodstream, the sugar is as well. It's getting absorbed in the stomach. It's getting absorbed super high up in the intestines, and it doesn't have the chance to get flushed down the toilet. So let's just go through the list. I know beer isn't the healthiest, but beer is actually one of the healthier drinks. It has it's made from grains. It has a ton of nutrition in it. There's also kvass, which is the Eastern European version of, they would take bread and they would get the sugar out of that stale bread by boiling it in water and then fermenting it and making a non-alcoholic drink. You could also do fruit juices. You could also do sodas. In America, I would watch out for sodas with high fructose corn syrup, which is just about everything. But, try to look for a soda with real sugar in it. Or you can make your own sugary drinks at home. Go to the Whole Foods or the organic grocery store or whatever and go find whole cane sugar so it still has the nutrients in it and the sugar. But when we drink it, it for sure gets digested and absorbed. And when I started I did the keto and the carnivore diets. I didn't have, I avoided sugar and starch like the plague for a very long time. But when I started learning the things inside my program, and I realized that, most of my Crohn's symptoms are actually coming from stress. They do come from food because I was stressing out about food. But when I stopped stressing out about food, what do you think, like if you're afraid of food, right? And it comes into you and it hits your digestive tract, do you think your brain is going to let your gut absorb it? I go over this in more detail inside my program, but when I did two things to really pack on the pounds. One is I just stopped being afraid of food. I said, I know it's, most of my symptoms are caused by stress. I'm not going to be afraid of food anymore. It's ridiculous. I'm done being afraid of food. Month or two later, I went from 150 pounds and I was at like 170, 180 pounds. And then at 180, probably should have stopped there, but I wanted to put on some more pounds because like it was my dream to one day weigh 170 pounds. But I started drinking a lot of sugar. I had avoided sugar for so long. Oh, like, Coke tastes so good when you haven't had it in 10 years. Their pizza and bread tastes so good. It feels so good on the taste buds when you've been avoiding. Like, it was just a dream come true that I could go on a date and actually have like a croissant or a glass of wine or beer and not just destroy their bathroom, if I got so lucky. It's so embarrassing to have Crohn's. It's not fun. It's like you're pushing a rock up a hill, and then the second you try to enjoy life, you try to have a piece of bread, that rock falls all the way down the hill, and you gotta start all over again. But there is a root cause. There is a quick way. The second thing that I did was when I started drinking sugary drinks, I put on an extra 20 pounds. This is I really wasn't working out. And before this, I was working with a personal trainer. I was taking creatine. I was taking whey protein powder. I was doing testosterone injections. I didn't do any of that to gain the 50 pounds. I might have gained 10 pounds with that. Then I stopped all of that, and then I did what I just told you, and also the things inside my program, 150 to 200 pounds. Imagine if you had the body you wanted. What would you do? What would you do with that body?